Oil and Water it's a cooking show, but it's really more of a game, and I cook. So it actually came out of this weekly series I used to do on my Instagram called Simpsons Sundays, where I would talk about something behind the scenes on The Simpsons. Sometimes I'd invite you into my ADR when we used to go there, and it was normal times in the before times. Um, Little anecdotes, stuff like that. And one day I decided I would make a recipe from an old Tracy Ullman short where Homer is cooking for Bart and he makes him porkified fish nuggets where he smashes together ground fish, first of all, yuck, and ground pork and makes these little nuggets, right? So I thought that's going to be one of my Simpson Sundays. And then it morphed into this idea that wouldn't it be a fun, and they're short, like Oil and Water is 6 to 8 minutes. It's just a little snackable bite of dumb entertainment for troubling times, as I've often called it, um, just for a good laugh. And I'm a good cook, so it's not a total shit show. The ingredients are a shit show. And the premise was I wanted to take two main ingredients that you would never put together and put them together in a random thing. So it's kind of a slight variation of that show, Chopped, where I think they get a random basket of ingredients like, okay, go. I'm not under a clock, but I have a bowl of sweet ingredients, a bowl of savory ingredients written on paper, and a bowl of things. So the thing is, it's a soup, it's an ice cream, it's a casserole, it's a pudding, it's a whatever it is. So I draw a sweet thing, a savory thing, and then I have to make it into the thing. And that's the premise of Oil and Water, and it's so, I mean, it's so absurd. There's a lot of swearing, which we bleep out, but people seem to enjoy it. And do sort of cuss like a sailor. I cleaned it up for you today, Jeff.
Don't feel the need. I am
Okay. Well, fuck. I mean, I don't know. There's just something very freeing and joyful for me about being able to swear as I try to fucking figure out how I'm gonna put together, caviar and Skittles on a candy apple, which I did for the Halloween episode of Oil and Water. Oh my God, that was awful. Oh my God, disgusting.
okay,
But
the Twinkie.
one of the successes,
Yeah,
yes,
I want to
was
try
the
that.
Twinkie onion dumpling. And
Who
I
knew?
think, I mean, who knew? And it really, I'm telling you, is really good. And with every recipe, while I'm at the market, I come up with what I call the Hail Mary, something that I think might bring these two disparate ingredients together into this dish. So for Twinkie onion dumpling, I made a milk chocolate dipping sauce.
Right.
And it was inspired. And the onion were those little crispy onion things you put on your salad. So really, I mean, they tasted oniony and they were salty,
Is that a
but it
Funyun?
was kind of fantastic.
Yeah.
Yes, but smaller, So anyway, I think it's great fun. People seem to really enjoy it, and even if they watch slack-jawed, like, you're not really gonna do that, are you? I'm like, yes, I am, and then I am gonna taste it because that's part of the game. So I, I think it's also been, I don't get as much or hardly any really on camera work as I used to, which I miss. And then with the pandemic, of course, nobody was able to have on camera work, and I was very blessed to be able to continue with The Simpsons. So it's just another way to be creative. I'm a performer, ham at heart, so I just came up with this game.
Yeah, so you don't have to go to the theater, but it's like inviting the theater to your computer. I mean, and you can interact, right? You interact with people. You check the
Oh,
comments.
I mean, yes, I mean, because so you can find it on YouTube and Instagram, and it's at Oil and Water Food, and the fans now we're actually really gathering a fan base, which is really fun. It's particularly on Instagram, and they'll write great stuff, and I'll write back, and we always want to know, like, okay, well, if you had to do a weird savory and a weird sweet, and what's the play? That's one of our things. The other thing I've started to do for Oil and Water social media, we have a wonderful social media manager, which is really helpful, and I highly recommend it to anyone because that's a full-time job unto itself. But I go through all of those posts and edit them. And one of the things I've really enjoyed doing recently is writing little haikus about some of our ingredients. So I wrote one for onions for this past week, which is, listen, I'm pretty proud that I wrote a haiku about onions.
Do you remember it? What was the haiku?
It was, onions, you're our chum. Can I call you Allium? I like you fried. Yum.
Poetry. Poetry.
Poetry about onions. You know.